Welcome to TBA, I'm Brad.
I'm Caitlin.
And today we've got a jam-packed show. Stuart's got a movie review for us.
And we're looking at Frocktober. But before we get to that, we're going to go straight to News of the Week.
Hi, I'm Scott, and this is the News of the Week. A Sydney man has been charged with assault causing actual bodily harm after the man's girlfriend fell to her death in an alley of Brown Street in Chatswood. The 37-year-old isolated himself on a perspex roof of the 27th floor of the residential building for 12 hours before going back inside. It is believed to be a domestic violence-related incident. There is devastation across America after California has become engulfed in flames. The fatal wildfire has swept through the wine country and is quickly spreading, claiming at least 10 lives so far. The fire has forced mass evacuations and already destroyed over 1,000 properties, totaling 70,000 acres, making one of California's most destructive outbreaks. 4 people have been seriously injured, with another fighting for life after a stolen truck crashed into parked cars and buildings before bursting into flames in the centre of Singleton in the New South Wales Hunter region. Police officers were forced to wrestle the culprit to the ground as 7 ambulances came to the scene. Tony Abbott has said that climate change could be beneficial because far more people die in cold snaps, to the Global Warming Policy Foundation in London. Abbott went on to say that the extreme weather events are not becoming more intense, but rather they do more damage because there is more to destroy. This has to be the most Australian case of man vs wild after a real estate agent wrangled a shark that made its way into the rock pools at Cronulla early Monday morning. Melissa Hathier removed the Port Jackson shark from the rock pools and has now been deemed a local hero. That's the News of the Week. Now back to the studio.
Looks like we've got our very own shark whisperer.
Absolutely. I don't know about you, but I could see shark put becoming a new Olympic sport. Anyway, this month is Mental Health Month, and our reporter Rowan ducked down to Headspace to see what they were doing.
For many young Australians, reaching out for mental health advice can be a daunting task. For 10 years, Wollongong Headspace Centre has provided thousands of young people with mental health services.
We do think it's really important to have youth-specific services, but also helping to break down some of that stigma around help seeking and really encourage young people to seek help early.
After moving into a newly refurbished centre in July, the centre celebrated their new home as part of National Headspace Day. The centre was built and designed with a focus on youth interaction and are there to provide affordable access to counsellors, GPs and psychologists. The centre will also provide a number of alternative services, such as therapeutic colouring and yoga classes.
And it really helps to control anxiety.
Early intervention is the focus of the organisation, who aim to provide an opportunity to educate young people on the importance of taking care of their mental health.
It's such an important thing, and I think it's increasing, and somewhere like Headspace is really good because it's very accessible for young people.
Mental Health Month is recognised and celebrated throughout October. 1 in 5 Australians will experience a mental illness at some point in their lives. Organisations such as Headspace are hoping to reduce this number and improve the overall well-being of the community. Wollongong's new Headspace Centre is located on Atchison Street and hopes to see an increase of young people seeking mental health support. Rowan McClutchy reporting for UAW TV.
And that's a really fantastic cause. And if you need to reach out to somebody or just to talk to somebody, obviously there's some great services, Lifeline and Beyond Blue, so we'll put the numbers down here somewhere.
Now, if you guys see a bunch of guys around in dresses, don't worry, it's all for a good cause, and our reporter Grace looked at the Do It in the Dress campaign.
Do It in a Dress has hit the University of Wollongong this month. This campaign, run by one girl, aims to raise awareness and funds for educating girls in Uganda and Sierra Leone. We caught up with some of the participants to find out a little more.
So there's about 60 million girls around the world that don't have access to education purely because they're women. And the whole purpose of One Girl is to educate 1 million of them.
Well, we're part of the UOW lead team, and I've always been interested in leadership. And I just thought it was such a great cause as well, because the situation in Africa is a lot less than favourable, and if I can do anything to help break the cycle of inequality, that's something that I'm really interested in.
We're trying to make sure that everybody has that right, and that these girls in Africa who are denied because they're female, and whether they say that it should be a right for men because they have a better chance at getting somewhere in life, it's a right for women as well, that they should be able to have the same opportunities and have that access to education. So that's what this is all about.
Well, there's the link up on the Facebook page. We've been selling it all over different Facebook pages and stuff, like with the buy, swap and sell. And we're going to be walking around campuses with donation box. We have some markets going on soon. There's a gig held by the UAW Metalheads. There's lots of activities going on the whole month of October.
The UAW lead team is currently ranked 4th in donations overall and 1st in the universities category. You can donate by visiting doitinaddress.com and supporting the UAW team or donating to the cause individually. Grace Crivellero, UAW TV.
An absolutely great cause that we recommend getting behind, I think.
Yes, and now we have another great cause, and we have Diksha Balaji in the studio to talk about Frocktober. Welcome, Diksha. So can you tell us a bit about the Frocktober? What is it?
Sure thing. So Frocktober is basically a charity fundraising event that my club, UOW Rotaract, is hosting all through the month of October. So basically a group of us amazing volunteers. So we're just basically, it's guys and girls, and we are wearing a dress, so frocking in a dress, or rocking it in pink. And it's on rotation, so at least a volunteer dresses up in pink or in a dress for once a day per week, and we post it up on our social media, and we fundraise and people sponsor us for doing that.
Okay, so what are you fundraising for exactly?
Yeah, so we're fundraising for Cancer Council, so it's to beat all women's cancers, which is basically gynecological cancers and breast cancers.
Right, so how can we get involved?
So basically, we have a link up on our Facebook page where you can click on it and donate it. It's as simple as that.
So what are the initiatives that you've run around the university?
So we do heaps of things. One of our most popular ones is Human vs. Zombies, which is a Nerf battle game that we play on campus. And it's like large scale, and basically it's to fundraise for End Polio Now. We also do Malala Fund, so we support that charity, which is for education. So we do the International Trivia Night, which we did just this September.
Okay, very cool. Is there a way that we can get involved other than donating, or?
Yeah, so people can send us a message on our Facebook page and just be like, I would like to wear pink or a dress on one of these days, and we could just sign you guys up. It's always good to raise awareness about the cause.
Well, it's definitely a good cause, and I hope everybody gets involved. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure, yeah.
And every man, Stuart, got out to the movies to see the new Blade Runner. So he's going to tell us if critics do dream of box office bombs.
Welcome to the first episode of Stu's Reviews. And if you hadn't guessed it already, I'm Stu. And this week we're taking a look at the brand new film Blade Runner 2049, which came out 30 years after the original Blade Runner movie. So before we get into the review, let's take a little sneak peek of what the film's all about.
Every civilization was built off the back of a disposable workforce. But I can only make so many. Happy birthday.
There is an order to things. That's what we do here. We keep order. The world is built on a wall that separates kind. Tell either side there's no wall, you bought a war.
Directed by French-Canadian Denis Villeneuve, the sequel jumps 32 years forward in time from its predecessor. And it follows a new Blade Runner, an officer who works for the LAPD and hunts down replicants, which are basically human-like robots which have gone rogue. I definitely can recommend seeing the original film first though, as it adds a lot of context to the first one, and even me as someone who's seen the first film, I still found some of the plot points hard to follow at times. And look, this film will not be for everyone, as there are some really long scene-setting moments where not a lot of action actually takes place. So don't come into this movie expecting a fast action thriller. It's just not what the film's about. The film does feature a great soundtrack composed by Hans Zimmer, who, if you watch many movies, you've probably heard of before, as well as Benjamin Wallfisch. The soundtrack is almost as good as the original, although I personally felt near the beginning of the film there were times where there was a lot of silence underneath the talking, and I feel like an addition of the soundtrack really would have added to the mood of the film overall. As a House of Cards fan myself, it was a nice surprise to see Robin Wright appearing in the film, and she played her role very well. And you could see a bit of Carrie Underwood coming out in her character with the very stern looks and some good, solid leadership qualities. Ryan Gosling has had some solid performances lately, and he certainly does not disappoint in this film, and really helps to carry it as he is present in most of the shots. Harrison Ford also jumped seamlessly back into his role as Deckard in the film, although if you're a fan of the original, you may be a little bit disappointed in his lack of screen time, as, look, I felt I would have liked to see him in a few more scenes, particularly earlier on in the movie. Cinematographer Roger Deakins still maintains that ghostly noir neon light cityscape, as well as the dreary endless rain present in the first film. Although one of the great things he does is gives us a bit of a glimpse outside the city borders, including some great shots of the desert as well as some junkyards. Even with the long runtime, I still left the cinema feeling like I wasn't ready to leave the Blade Runner universe yet. That's why I'm giving Blade Runner 2049 4 out of 5 stars.
Have you seen that movie yet?
I have. It is a visual feast, but I had to get like the jumbo Coke just because it's like financially better off to get like the big popcorn and the jumbo Coke. So I had to whiz like every 20 minutes. So I feel like I missed out every like key plot point of the movie, but it was nice to look at. So.
All right. Well, now we've got the girls who are back in the kitchen for food for thought.
Hey guys, welcome to the 15th episode of Food for Thought. This is a segment where we show you how to make cheap and nutritious foods. Yeah, and today we're going to show you how to make vegan birthday cake cookie dough. Yeah, so we finally found a recipe that's actually a lot healthier for you. And instead of having all the processed sugars, we instead are using chickpeas as our base. So we hope you like it and yeah, enjoy.
And so the ingredients that you'll need are your chickpeas, peanut butter, honey, and vanilla. Because we're choosing to make a birthday cake flavour, we've chosen to use hundreds and thousands and choc chips. But you can add whatever toppings you want. And if your chickpeas aren't salted, then add some sea salt as well. First you want to drain your chickpeas and then pat dry with a paper towel. And then put your chickpeas, peanut butter, honey and vanilla into a food processor and mix halfway, and keep some of your chickpea water from when you drained it. And then once you've mixed it halfway, add some chickpea water to help with the consistency, and then just keep on mixing it. And then when the consistency is right, add your toppings, which we're adding hundreds and thousands of chopped chips, and then you're done.
So this is our final product. This is our birthday cake chocolate chip vegan cookie dough. So yeah, let's try it. It actually does, you know.
It looks,
yeah. It looks legit. Like the chickpea gives it like a really good consistency, and you can mostly taste the peanut butter, so you won't taste any of the chickpeas when you factor the chickpeas. Surprisingly good.
That is good.
I have to say, we had a lot of, well, I think we both had a lot of doubts about this recipe when we saw it. Because chickpeas just doesn't seem like a dessert. But you know what? Try it. It tastes really good, and I'm sure you guys will love it.
Yeah, and it's really healthy as well.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today, and we hope you liked today's recipe.
Join us next time. We'll show you how to make even cheaper and more delicious and probably kind of weird foods for you guys.
We can definitely give those a go.
Definitely a brave new world for cookies. Up next, we have the MEWS.
Welcome back to the MEWS. After a short hiatus recovering from the massive Yours and Ours festival over the long weekend, we're back to deliver you the best of music news in the gong. Tonight, we've got Newcastle boys from These New South Wales kicking off the Rad Bulletin. These guys are super musically talented in heavy indie punk sounds, but have also produced a pretty funny and insightful mockumentary about the production of their albums, and of course General Mayhem. If these are anything to go by, make sure you catch these guys for what's sure to be a wild night. For a slightly chiller Thursday, you can catch local T-Plane at the weekly Eat Street tonight. Coming off the back of a European tour, head along to catch some bluesy tunes and boppy vocals. Friday night, Unibar is putting on an old school twist, hosting a couple of Australia's most notable heavy metal bands, Frankenbock and Segression. Recording their first EPs in 2000 and 1994 respectively, this is a celebration of pure Aussie metal at its best, so nab some tickets and don't miss out. But if what you're wanting is some of that classic Aussie surf rock, Rad has you covered. The 4-piece Newcastle band Oil Baron are hitting up Rad on Friday. Complete with smooth as hell guitar riffs and boppy vocals, these guys will have you hearing summer. The Central Coast band Soy will also be hitting the stage at Rad, along with local favourites Kimono Pool and Shane Howard, guaranteeing you the perfect start to the weekend. The smooth tunes of Helicon Drive will be filling Rad on Saturday night. Having just released their new song Birds, the Melbourne 3-piece band will be delivering summer-soaked melodies forged with garage-toned pop hooks. With Triple J's Richard Kingsmill even commenting on the alluring drum timing of their notable song Crusoe, be sure to get down and amongst these up-and-coming Aussie legends. For another hit of metal, hit up Rad on Sunday night to catch band Mercury Sky and Illawarra's own Lowgazer for a night of heavy yet interesting tunes. And Wednesday, we've got the All Lovers Party at Unibar. Presented by Vice, this event aims to help the LGBTQI community across Australia in recognition of the aggression of the postal survey has, and to give everyone a break from the bigotry and nonsense. Whilst the Wollongong lineup is yet to be announced, we can rest assured from the looks of the Adelaide lineup that it's going to be an awesome celebration of local bands and DJs. We've got some great gigs this week, so make sure you get out and about and catch these awesome summer sounds. Stay tuned for what's happening in the MEWS each Thursday.
Thanks, Lil, making me feel like a geriatric for how little I get out of the house.
Well, there's great opportunities for you to get out of the house and, dress up a little bit. Well, that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you for watching. I'm Caitlin.
And I've been Brad. Have a good week.